First of all, have you ever faced difficulties while looking for a developer to work in your company? If yes, me too. I've been working at Odoo for almost 5 years now, and I've been recruiting developers and sales. And today I will explain you some of our strategic approaches to recruit international developers. So here is the agenda of today. First, I will explain you how and why we recruit developers. Then I will explain why we started to recruit internationally. Then we will see together how to stand out from the crowd. Then we will review together the different practical aspects of requesting a visa, and then conclusion and Q&A. Here is a small QR code you can scan if you want to ask all the questions you want. I give you a bit of time, and then we will come to the questions after my talk. Okay, so first, recruiting developers, the basics. Why do we recruit developers at Odoo? On the right, you see what was Odoo a few years ago, and now you see on the left what it is now. There is a huge difference. And that is thanks to our developers. We want to be able to grow rapidly. We want to be able to customize Odoo based on the need of our customers. We want to have a support and maintenance team. We also want to cope with the competition that is quite hard on the IT market. And we want to expand internationally. That is why we opened offices all around the world with some services departments to be able to create payroll and accounting localizations per country. I will give you a brief overview of the job market in Belgium, and you will understand why a bit later. We face some labor shortages in IT, engineering, healthcare, and construction. We can see that the employment is growing in services, IT, and renewable energy. Due to COVID, flexibility and remote work increased, and that is also thanks to the new way of working. We see also that there is more opportunity in Brussels and Flanders than in Wallonia. That is a bit later on the digital transformation. And we see that the government is trying to boost employment with training and reskilling. But even with that, there is a gap. There is a gap between available candidates on the market and job openings. There is a gap between the skills companies are looking for and skills available on the market. We try to be always competitive with the salaries we offer, but still it doesn't match the expectations. And so we faced a wall. We were looking for developers, but we were not able to find in Belgium developers anymore. And so that is why we started to recruit internationally. First, what is the benefits of expanding your recruitment pool? It will diverse your skill and expertise in your team, and you will have more ideas in more head than in one, of course. It will bring a cultural diversity in your team, which is always super interesting for you and your employees. It will give you a competitive advantage because maybe the education in other countries is very different than in yours, and it will bring more technical aspects than you were already used to. It will broaden your talent pool. Belgium is quite a small country, and so if you stick to Belgium, you might face a wall quickly. And of course, last but not least, it will be a good point for your company reputation because a lot of employees are looking for an international company to work in, and so it can improve and increase your company reputation. And if I can give you maybe also a personal point of view, it will give you the opportunity to meet very, very nice people. Here is a small how-to. First, you have to define your targets. See what salary you can offer and see what is offered in the country you want to target. See if there is a match with the local culture. See if there is a match with the market expectations, if the country you target is aligned with what you can offer. Then you have to tailor your message. Why would you be attractive for your audience? Why would employees come to your company, to your country? If possible, you can try to use your internal network. For example, we tried to ask Odoo employees which job board they used to apply to Odoo, and then we registered on those job boards to make it even more broad. We also asked them in which universities they studied to use those universities to create partnership through former students, which is always more efficient than just going like out of the blue. We also post on international job boards, as my colleague Axel just said. Then you have to make sure that you will adapt your recruitment process. Doing all your interviews on site is a bit of the old age. Now you have to make sure that it can be a process that is remote friendly. And last but not least, we offer relocation and visa assistance to support international hires, and I will show you later the different steps that we will do. But now, how to stand out from the crowd? We have so many job opportunities on the market. How can you be different from the other one? It took some time, but I decided to ask to our international workers. It was quite fun, actually, because as you can see, relocating to Belgium is also for fries and chocolates, and we have a bit of rain, apparently, as well. To the question, why did you join Odoo? I asked to developers. They answered. First, the job is technically interesting and challenging. We use Python and JavaScript, and apparently that is something they're looking for, and it was interesting for them. We also give a chance to people with 0 years of experience, and it's something that not a lot of companies do on the market, and so it was something that attracted them. There is a good work-life balance, and that is something we really focus on. So it is not something that we take for granted. It is a work in progress, and we try to keep this good work-life balance. We offer a relocation package with the first rent, the first month of rent that is paid, the flight tickets. We also have admin support. We help people to take some time to go to the city hall, etc. So we help them to have the relocation process as smooth as possible. We also have the chance to work in a farm, which I know that not everyone can have, of course, but apparently it was also very attractive for our developers. We have lunch made by a chef and company cars, which is also a nice advantage in Belgium due to the public transportation not always being super nice. Then, why would you join Belgium? Because it is a bit different than why would you join Odoo. Definitely not the weather. We have competitive salaries compared to other countries in other parts of the world. We have a dynamic economy with strong sectors. Belgium is a good country for IT and for engineering, as I said before. Belgium is known for being a multicultural and multilingual environment. We have 3 languages inside the same country, so it's quite of a good thing. Depends on the point of view, of course. And we have a very open culture. As I said before, the work-life balance is something that we have at Odoo, but it is also part of the culture in Belgium. It is something that we have compared to our neighbors that they don't always have. And Belgium is a small country, and it is quite central, so from Belgium you can go to anywhere in a bit of time. Now let's look behind the scenes. How to request a visa. Let me introduce you to Marus, which is an employee that I recruited a few months ago, one year ago actually. He's born in Alexandria in Egypt. He has studied electrical and engineering and computer science. He was referred by a friend. Referral is one of our biggest sources. What he loves in Belgium is that everything is green. In Cairo, it was more yellow, and so he particularly enjoyed that in Belgium. He started remote in October, so 1 year ago, so happy anniversary, and he arrived in Belgium in March. He loves cycling, reading Haruki Murakami, and learning languages, and you will see later that he can even speak a bit of French. and he is a software developer. So here is the story of Marus and the different steps he went through to come to Belgium. On D0, he received his offer, congrats. Then 20 days later, he sent us the requested documents, like the degree, etc., but I will do a list a bit later. The request is then introduced on the platform by our payroll team. Then the work permit is approved. Few weeks after that, the residence permit is approved. It's 2 parts, and we have to have 2 parts to make the candidates come to Belgium. Then Marus books an appointment at the Belgian embassy in Cairo. It takes a few days to receive the visa. Then it takes his plane to Belgium and a bit of time to chill because relocating is a huge thing. And then he started at Odoo a few days after. Here is for a little overview of the documents you will need for a Belgian work permit in case you're interested. It's the copy of the passport. You have to pay a fee of approximately 150 euros, so it's not so expensive. You have to ask the candidate for a police register extract, a medical certificate, proof of hospital insurance, degree or skills report, and employment contract copy. So that is everything you will need for your work permit in Belgium. But what were the biggest challenges for Marus while relocating? Housing was is quite a thing because it's not always easy to find a place in Belgium to live, especially when you come from abroad and when you're looking for a place while being abroad. And so that is why we pay for the first month of accommodation, and we book it in advance. So when they arrive in Belgium, they have a place to stay and they can look for something. Marus decided to share a place with some of his friends, and so it was more easy for him. As I said before, public transportation in Belgium is not always super extended, especially to come to Grand Rosière in the farm. And so if you love to walk or cycle, it's okay. But as a company, you can also decide to offer a company car or public transportation options. Even for us, Belgians, it's not always easy to register to health insurance, bank, going to the city hall, etc. And so we provide help to our employees with admin support, but we also use expat services. We work with a bank who help us create bank account for our expats. Languages is can also be a problem for people coming from abroad. As said before, we have 3 languages in Belgium, so which one should I speak if I come? We have 3, so we have conversation tables at Odoo, people speaking French, Dutch, and German together. We also provide trainings, and Marus told me that a great tip would be to tell French speakers to slow down, because apparently we speak way too fast. And loneliness can also be a problem, but we try to create a community within our employees to organize events, to make them to get to know each other, and so they can maybe create some friendships among the community. Now, what are the biggest challenges for the HR team? Because it is also challenging. It's not always easy. The administrative procedures are super hard, but it used to be even harder before. Now we have a platform, and so it's quite easy. But if you use Odoo with the project app, etc., you can come to me later. I will show you how. It's super easy. It is also challenging to keep the candidates engaged because, as you saw, there is sometimes 4 months between the candidate's offer and the candidates coming to Belgium, and so it is super hard to keep a contact with them. What you can do is automate the emails and do regular checks with the candidates so that you do not lose contacts between those 4 months. Administrative questions are also a bit time-consuming, and so that is why we created templates so that we do not answer all the time the same questions. Regulation changes all the time, and if you do not respect it, it will have serious consequences for employees, so you have to make sure that you keep updated with those regulations. And also, a point that has to be considered is that sometimes you have cultural differences with those people, and it is important to be aligned. So while defining your audience, make sure that you have a fit and that you're open enough because cultural differences are a thing, but it has to be considered, and if you're open, I think there is always solutions. So in conclusion, if you missed the last minutes, what was the talk about? Recruitment of international developers. Why? Because Belgian market is running out of developers, and if you want to to cope with the growth and innovation, you have to open your border. How? By creating an environment where international workers feel valued and empowered to thrive, and by hiring international workers, it will only create a positive loop. When? What about now? Thank you. It's time for the Q&A. Maybe you can come. So I have a special guest. Oh, you hear me twice. Yeah, you have to speak in a mic. Maybe we can read the question if that's okay for you,
Okay.
as we are already two.
Oh, he can read
Yeah.
the questions? Okay. You have it? No? Let's use this. Okay.
How many developers did you recruit last year? I think it was, let me check. No, I think it was like 80, 90? 90 developers? 100 last year? Okay, did a great job. Do you hire full remote developers? No, we used to do, but we stopped because it was having a negative impact on our onboarding and work experience for those remote workers. So we decided to stop. We still have a few, but we do not recruit remote developers anymore. Apart from English, is there any other languages needed to work as a developer at Odoo?
Mainly English is enough, usually. But French helps, just for communicating with your colleagues, but just knowing English could be just enough.
You mentioned a platform to use for visa. What is it? In Belgium, it's like single permits platform. If you want to have a view of what it is, you can come to me and I will show you. What kind of events are you organizing in order to create a bond between expats? We still have it in the pipe, so it's not launched yet. But we will organize soon Odoo World event, which is an event where all the employees from different nationalities can have like a stand where they will be able to present their country and the specific tradition they have in their country. So you can discover. Oh, I lost the question.
I open it now.
Okay.
Is it up to date?
Yeah.
Yeah. So can work permit
thank
get
you.
refused? Can work permit applications get refused?
Can work permit applications get refused? Yeah, we had the case once. It was an employee. He was coming from Japan, I think, and he was studying in Belgium. Then he gets the work permit part, and the student's visa expired, and so he had to come back to Japan. He didn't, and so the residence part was refused because he didn't leave the country soon enough. So it's really important for you to, and for the employee as well, to respect the different steps, otherwise it can get refused quite easily. The process can only be applied for developers. Now in Belgium we can actually create work permit requests for any type of position. It's just that you have to make sure that you stick into some categories. I know that for developers, for example, it's a shortage job, so it's easy to recruit with a work permit. But if you're looking for a manager, for example, it can also be recruited with a work permit because the person is overqualified, and so you have to submit a degree, etc. is job rotation high? Doing all that investment for a dev to change job looks like a big issue. Yes, indeed, it can be a big issue, but I think if you think about the issue before the process, you will never go anywhere. So I try and do your best to keep your employee, and then you will see. But of course, it is an investment; it takes time, but I think it's worth it. Yeah, I think it's okay. Everything is covered. Thank you, everyone.